Coming up on Cronkite News, Tax Day is soon upon us, but for the charitable organizations in Arizona, tax credits in many cases make a substantial impact.
Plus, an organization that advocates and offers support for people who have been wrongfully convicted.
And later, this star Sun Devil has fulfilled her dream by competing at Arizona State.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Lydia Curry.
And I'm Jonah Krell. Thanks for joining us.
Tax Day is just a few days away, so you still have some time to take advantage of Arizona's charitable tax credits.
Reporter Alexia Stanbridge takes a look at the program that allows taxpayers to donate to charities and get every single dollar back from the state.
Charities depend on these donations.
We would not be able to reach nearly the number of families that we're able to reach because of the tax credit if it did not exist.
Jake Adams is the Chief Development Officer for Southwest Human Development. The nonprofit organization focuses on children and families in need by providing resources to help with early development. Adams says every year they receive hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations that go toward funding their programs.
All these books that you see here in this room right now cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
There are many popular tax credits to choose from. Some include qualifying charitable organizations where families can donate up to $800 per year and individuals up to $400. Another example is the foster organizations where families can donate up to $1,000 per year and individuals up to $500 per year. And another popular one is the school tax credits where families can donate up to $400 per year and individuals up to $200 per year.
It's a way to give an incentive for taxpayers to be able to donate to the charitable organization that's meaningful for them.
Rebecca Wilder is the communications director with the Arizona Department of Revenue. She says over time, donations are increasing. Wilder says when you donate, you can get it all back in your tax refund.
It's actually a zero cost for the taxpayer to contribute to these specific organizations.
The deadline for the 2022 tax year is April 18th, so Arizonans still have time to donate. In Phoenix, Alexia Stanbridge, Cronkite News.
The Arizona Department of Revenue says Arizonans donated nearly $750 million to charitable organizations in 2021.
Down at the Capitol, former state representative Liz Harris was expelled from the Arizona House on Wednesday over unproven claims that politicians on both sides of the political spectrum accepted bribes from a Mexican drug cartel.
The integrity of this House has been jeopardized.
It's a tough decision to make.
The Legislative Ethics Committee determined that Harris had engaged in, quote, disorderly behavior in violation of the chamber's rules. The committee's report explained that Harris invited a guest to the legislative hearing, knowing that they would accuse her fellow colleagues of criminal activity.
There has been a recent nationwide legal battle over the use of an abortion pill called mifepristone. Today, the federal appeals court ruled that the pill can still be used for now, but restored restrictions on the shipping and virtual prescription of the drug. The Department of Justice made a statement today saying that it would be challenging these restrictions at the Supreme Court and asking to put any action on hold.
A 21-year-old Massachusetts Air National Guard member was arrested by the FBI today for his connection to leaked classified documents. The leaked documents were posted to Discord, a popular messaging platform. They included info from both our allies and adversaries. The information also allegedly included intel about the war in Ukraine. He will appear in court tomorrow in Boston, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office there.
The Innocence Network is holding the first day of its conference tomorrow in Phoenix. The event allows exonerated people and practitioners to gather together and work to make a change in the criminal justice system. Cronkite News reporter Madison Perales explains the mission of this organization and talks to a person who was in prison for many years, but is now free.
To mark the network's 20th anniversary, They are hosting the event in Arizona for the second year in a row. The network has freed over 700 people, according to the director. For the exonerees attending, it's a way to remember what happened, but also to celebrate their freedom.
The air breathes different out here than it does in prison. I'll never jeopardize or sacrifice that again. Be able to actually be out there and greet the sun coming up.
After 15 years of being in prison, Khalil Rushton embraces his freedom. He was falsely convicted of first-degree murder when he was 19 years old.
They were like, oh, well, he's part of a bigger organization, and we can use him to bring the bigger organization down. I'm not going to play that role, and when I refuse to not play that role, that's when all hell broke loose for me.
He chose to take a step back. In doing so, the killer was let go, and the prosecutor directed the charges toward him.
It was really hurtful to turn around and see the justice system ignore all the steps that I had taken to clear my name.
He was sentenced to 25 years.
That hit me like a brick, but the reality didn't sink in because I was like, no, they made a mistake.
That was when the team at the Arizona Justice Project, a part of the Innocence Network, found out about his case.
The Arizona Justice Project is a founding member of the Innocence Network.
According to Kennedy, the Arizona Justice Project is one of the oldest innocence organizations in the country. Rushton said the Arizona Justice team started around 4 years into his sentence.
She never abandoned me. She was like, hey, we're not going to stop representing till you're out.
And that's exactly what they did. After 11 years of battling the justice system, he was released in 2012.
It really shocked me to a point where, I had to go into a shower, kind of close the curtain, and I broke down in tears.
After his release, his perspective on life changed, but he couldn't sit back and try to forget about that part of his life.
I decided to not just sit around and wait for change. I decided to be on the front line of change.
The conference will be held at the Arizona Grand Resort and Spa early tomorrow morning through Saturday. Rushton plans to host the preliminary opening and facilitate a workshop called Free, but haven't made it home yet. In Phoenix, Madison Prowlis, Cronkite News.
Thanks, Madison, for that great story. The Phoenix Union High School District decided not to renew its agreement with Phoenix for school resource officers, the term used for on-campus police. Following weeks of student-led protests back in 2020, now the School Safety Advisory Committee is seeking to reinstate the agreement for school resource officers. The Phoenix Union High School District Governing Board is set to discuss the recommendations tonight to determine whether or not school resource officers will be back to patrolling the campus.
As the vote on a proposed entertainment district and hockey arena for the Arizona Coyotes in Tempe draws closer, NHL officials took center stage to make the argument for the project.
James Powell is at the proposed site with what the commissioner of the league said about the future of the Coyotes.
The Arizona Coyotes pressed a fortune on hoping to persuade voters on 3 ballot measures. The 3 measures would allow the team to build a new arena on this landfill site by Tempe Town Lane. At a news conference that included business leaders and city officials, National Hockey League Commissioner Gary Bettman said that the arena deal will keep the franchise in the valley permanently.
Finally, we're at a place where we can ensure the future of the Coyotes for the benefit not just of the Coyotes or Coyotes fans, but for this community. Being in Tempe is the answer to all of the issues we've seen over the years.
On May 16th, Tempe voters will decide on Propositions 301, 302, and 303. This would clear the way for the arena district to be built by rezoning the land. The Tempe City Council, labor groups, and the NHL are all behind the deal. A vocal group of citizens is against giving a hockey franchise tax breaks for development. Separately, the City of Phoenix has filed a lawsuit that seeks to stop the construction of apartment complexes near the flight path of Sky Harbor. The commissioner refused to speculate on what would happen if the measures failed. In Tempe, James Powell, Cronkite News.
Thank you, James. Summer vacation is just around the corner, and while that's definitely something to look forward to, actually getting to your destination is not.
That's right, Lydia, because we all know traveling, and especially flying, can be downright stressful. But that could all change the next time you fly to Sky Harbor. Up next, how the airport is helping alleviate all that stress with music.
We'll be welcoming some clouds here in the valley and some possible rain up in the high country. Stay tuned after the break for our full forecast.
General Manager of Arizona PBS. We've got so much going on here at the station. I'm Catherine Anaya.
I'm Alberto Rios. I'm Chef Mark Tarbell. I'm Ted Simons.
We want everyone to know that their Arizona connection starts right here at Arizona PBS.
For over the past 60 years, Arizona PBS has told incredible stories of Arizona's distinctive people.
We got to start being more vulnerable with each other.
What I love most about being a Latina woman is the passion and drive that I feel.
Beautiful landscapes and treasured history.
We're doing something that benefits the community.
Good evening and welcome to Horizonte.
Welcome to Check Please, Arizona.
Welcome to the U.S. Senate debate.
The recipient of the Emmy is
Arizona PBS.
If you're passing through Sky Harbor Airport, you might notice music coming from the terminals.
Reporter Sydney Whitty has the answer as to why.
If you have to catch a flight, you might find yourself putting a pep in your step while walking through the main corridor or entering the food court in Terminal 4. That's because of a music program Sky Harbor began a few years ago. On Thursdays of every month, local tunes are bringing harmony to the crowds through a program called Traveling Tunes, an initiative that helps artists by providing a platform to perform and by helping travelers ease their anxiety.
People stop, they smile, they listen. This just calms it down and makes that stressful environment a little more enjoyable as you're passing through our airport. And we have great response from our passengers.
And on this day, a local brass ensemble, Fountain Hill Saxophone Quartet, finds joy when playing their instruments for many who have never heard of a quartet like theirs.
We get a lot of surprise, that there are saxophone quartets. That's probably the #1 response we get is, we've never heard a saxophone quartet, and we didn't realize that the sounds could blend so well and that it would sound as good as it does.
It's the tunes that make the traveling experience unique for the 120,000 people that come up these escalators every day. And it's also proving to make travelers happier for their journey ahead.
I'm like happier right now, just like listening to music. I'm having a tough morning, but then I hear this and it just makes me happy. I think music is therapeutic.
And that's exactly why they're at Sky Harbor. Traveling Tunes has a theme for each month of the year. If you have a flight next Thursday, you can hear the Fountain Hills Saxophone Quartet, and if you're an artist, you can sign up at the Sky Harbor Airport's website. In the newsroom, Sydney Whitty, Cronkite News.
The weather is looking better this week as temps drop across the valley.
Madeline Jaskowiak is in the Weather Center. Madeline, what are our temperatures later tonight and this weekend?
Well, Jonah, we're certainly not in the hundreds yet, thank goodness. Tonight, we're definitely going to be cooling off, 9-degree drop from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Starting off partly cloudy at 79 degrees at 6 p.m., dropping to 70 degrees by 10 p.m. Our futurecast is showing us some clouds. We're going to see clouds kind of in the central region of Arizona, also in the rim. Those clouds are going to be moving mostly out of the state by Friday afternoon, but we will see some potential precipitation up in the rim, up near Grand Canyon, Page, and Window Rock. But by Saturday morning, that is all going to move out of the state, and that sunshine will be back. Our low temperatures are much lower than normal for this time of year, 58 degrees in Phoenix, 30 in Flagstaff, 32 in the Grand Canyon, 35 over in Window Rock, 52 in Tucson. So still pretty chilly early in the morning on Friday. Our high temperatures still, again, below normal for this time of year. 77 in Phoenix, 52 in Flagstaff, 56 in the Grand Canyon, 79 in Yuma. Our 8-day forecast is looking pretty beautiful. 77 on Friday and sunny, a beautiful weekend. 85 on Saturday, 91 on Sunday, and that sunshine is going to continue with us, except for Monday. We'll see some clouds roll in, but the rest of the week is looking nice and clear with about an average temperature of 85 degrees. In the Cronkite Weather Center, Madeline Jaskowiak. Back to the desk.
And coming up tomorrow, a closer look at the extreme and extremely diverse weather across Arizona. From monsoons in the desert to snow up north, the Cronkite Weather Team takes a closer look at Arizona's infamous 5 seasons. That's tomorrow, right here on the Cronkite News Friday edition.
I'm Lindsay Zinti. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. The Diamondbacks have won 5 of their last 7 games, and manager Torey Lovello is determined to keep winning, even if it takes him from the game.
We tell ourselves stories as a nation.
These stories need to be highlighted, they need to be explored.
We're the dreamers.
How serious is America's commitment to looking at its history? How can we learn from the past?
Douglas said, "You're going to look me in the eye and see my humanity."
It's illuminating. I'm seeing the expansiveness of my history.
It's pretty great.
There's so much richness to Black life and Black culture.
I think the story of Muslims in America is the story of America.
Tonight, they are free.
I cannot imagine how excited he must have been.
It's a wonderful feeling. This is why we do this.
It makes me even more committed to struggling for a better world.
Welcome. How utterly charming.
Are you ready to get it going?
How does an English fan come to be Italian Riviera?
A fresh start.
Can I trust you?
Are you ready for the show?
You can't be afraid to show them what you've got, what you want.
Are we having a party?
Of course, the more the merrier.
I love this place. It's my home now. Trouble in paradise. I can't do it on my own.
This is revenge.
There are consequences.
Be careful.
Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Oh.
You look like you need rescuing.
Don't we all?
What is it that you want? I just want to let go. I choose how I live.
There is the passion that I've been looking for.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Lindsay Zinti. The Coyotes wrap up their season tonight as they face off against the Vancouver Canucks at 7 p.m. at Mullet Arena. This was the Coyotes' first season in the new arena, and the team has some positives they can build on for next season. Overall, the Coyotes had a tough season going 28-40. However, one of the positives is that they did seem to excel in their new home with a record of 21-15. And after tonight, the next time you can see the Yotes is in September, where they will play 2 preseason games in Melbourne, Australia, which will be the first NHL games ever played in the Southern Hemisphere. The wheels are spinning in Southern California this weekend as thousands of fans are hitting the streets for the Acura Grand Prix. Cameron Dean is in LA with a preview.
With the Formula Drift event last weekend and the Grand Prix of Long Beach this weekend, the streets of Long Beach have hosted high-octane action. And these racers and fans explain their experience.
For this race in particular, Long Beach, it's super tough, just being a street course, very bumpy, high-speed corners. The walls are really narrow, preparing a lot mentally, physically always, and with the engineers, making sure that we have the best setup possible.
MMA fighter AJ McKee is a lifelong racing fan and channeled his inner child at the Grand Prix festivities.
This has been in my backyard my entire life. I used to live in that building right there and always watched all the races since I was a kid. So it's just cool to come here and get to kind of enjoy the races and a different aspect, you know what I mean? It's like just different perspectives that you don't really get to see, you know, the mechanics working on the cars, fine-tuning and little things like that.
I'll give you guys a quick tour of the car. Let's check it out. It's a 2018 Nissan 370Z, but what's special about it is we're rocking a Corvette-style engine under the hood. It's got a G-force, basically NASCAR-style dog box 4-speed. Quick change rear end, so we can change the gears however we want. But yeah, throwing down 1,000 horsepower, having some fun, kicking some butt.
With over 180,000 fans expected, the 3-day, 2-night event of world-class racing is once again the premier event of the season. In Long Beach, California, with videographer Chamela Peter, I'm Cameron Dean, Cronkite News.
The Diamondbacks came out with the series win against the Milwaukee Brewers following last night's 7-3 victory. But manager Torey Lovullo didn't get to stay long as he was ejected from the game after a disagreement with the home plate umpire. Pitcher Dre Jameson got his first start of the season. In the third inning, Lovullo didn't agree with the call from home plate umpire Gabe Morales. Lovullo continued complaining and was ejected after coming onto the field. Lovullo spoke about the importance of defending his team.
I'm proud to say we don't have a lot of player ejections. Not to say it won't happen, but it's my responsibility to protect them and have their back, and I felt like I needed to do that.
Leaders on and off the court are a prized possession on any team. Cronkite sports reporter Olivia Eisenhower has more from the Sand in Tempe.
Sun Devil Beach Volleyball's Jensen Kalin is fulfilling a lifelong dream by being a D1 athlete at Arizona State, an achievement she credits her parents' sacrifices of hours driving to and from tournaments out of Oregon and the opportunity she has been given in Tempe to make her mark.
I am just so stoked to be a Sun Devil because the little girl inside me wanted to be a Pac-12 athlete, and I didn't know anything about Arizona State except for the fact that they had a pitchfork and they had Sparky.
While her drive on the court shows, the work behind the scenes that is paying for her education speaks volumes. Kalin is the first student athlete that is a part of the Starbucks College Achievement Plan that covers 100% tuition for an online degree at ASU for students who work 20 or more hours, allowing her to graduate debt-free while playing the game she loves.
Oh, it's unique to meet a young person who really is very unassuming and works really hard in the classroom, in her sport, and in life because she works. She works at Starbucks and she works a ton of hours, and she is like just trying to make it happen.
Kalin and Senior Associate Athletic Director Dina Gardner-Smith are also co-founders of the Arizona State chapter of Empower Her, a group of female student athletes that come together to support each other as Sun Devils and develop skills that will help them in the long run after they take the jersey off.
He's always like, what can I work on? Can I come out, do extra reps? Can I do this? Can I come watch video? So I think she's always trying to get better. It just shows, especially some of the younger ones when they get here, that extra work needs to be done.
Her involvement with Empower Her is similar to a big sister role, a role Kalin is used to playing since she has two younger siblings, one committed to play and one playing beach volleyball collegiately.
The family translates, like this ASU beach volleyball family has translated to my family, and so once you're a part of my family, like I don't want anything to happen to you. I have always had like a protective instinct, and like I always want to make sure that everybody feels included and make sure that they have a fair shot and a fair opportunity.
Part of a family much bigger as she works to help herself and others succeed in their games and the game of life. In Tempe, Olivia Eisenhower, Cronkite Sports.
That's it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Let's send it back to the desk.
The record-breaking California weather has left the state and its occupants much colder.
And some critters have become more curious of warmer places. After the break, we take a look at an unexpected special guest who surprised these homeowners.
Help your child learn at home with PBS Kids. Together, explore reading, math and science, life lessons, and more right alongside your favorite characters on TV and anytime on the PBS Kids 24/7 channel. And we offer free resources to help with at-home learning. Visit pbskids.org for educational tips, lessons, and hands-on activities. Also, sign up to receive even more information by email. Discover lots of fun tools and ideas to keep your child engaged. Learn at home with PBS Kids.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Pales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation. How do you think that it's so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives?
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS. Find out what's on Arizona PBS at azpbs.org/schedule.
A California couple was alerted to an unexpected visitor when their home alarm system went off early this morning.
Turns out a hungry bear wandered into their garage in search of shelter and, of course, a snack.
This giant black bear thought he had an open invite to a couple's garage after they accidentally left it open overnight. The homeowners have seen bears nearby their home, but never had one wander into their garage.
Wildlife officials think the record-breaking weather this year has also affected the bear's food source. The homeowners think their visitor was after the garbage can in their garage. Moving forward, they're going to make sure all doors are shut completely before heading to bed.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.